Time to talk about your health. Living a Primal Lifestyle. With your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Hey there, good morning. I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning. I'm Ellen Haan.
It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg. It is 61 degrees, and it's clear skies, and it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
humidity's low. We're having our kind of last dance with winter.
Yeah, a little cool weekend. It was really nice, matter of fact. I'd like to remind you folks of our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic, cell-ready liquid ingredients, so it's easy to take, all powered by fulvic and humic acid, which takes the good stuff in.
And lets the bad stuff out.
That's right, and we have our newsletter, which follows the show. A couple days late getting this out. I had a couple of glitches in here, but this follows the show, so everything that we talk about during the show is in here, so you can do your own research. Also, some articles like some recipes I put in here, and some articles on physical exercise. So pick that up. And today I'd like to start with well, first of all, it's a new year, in a sense. I always thought springtime was the new year for me, living up north, kind of coming out of the doldrums and of the winter. And I remember laying in the grass always, and it smells so good. Yeah, and that first sunshine that's hitting your body, it always felt really good. So I thought this is maybe a good time to reintroduce the style of eating that we've been on for the last 12, 13 years. And why would you want to change the way you're eating? Well, maybe you're not satisfied with what's going on. Maybe you're concerned about your health. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you just want to figure out what other people are doing, because the paleo diet, the primal diet, the ketone-style diets have been around for quite a while now, and people are using them. And all the articles, most of them, are saying that this is something that probably is good for you.
Yeah, and we keep, very often people will ask, well, what's the paleo diet? And when you tell them you don't eat grains, they say, well, what do you eat? It's, So we like this article because it really goes into the analysis of what the diet is and what its purpose is. Yeah,
and it was written by Jay Stanton from Knowles, G-N-O-L-L-S.
Knowles.org.
Yeah. And it really says, eat like a predator, not like a prey. The paleo diet is 6 easy steps, a motivational guide. So he says, here's a step-by-step guide. He says, progress at whatever pace you want. Don't stress about being perfect. Also, you don't have to make it all the way down the list, but this is a 6-step process here that they've talked about. And he says there's some do not eat items and some eat items, and he says he assures you that there's plenty to eat in this diet, so you're not going to starve or anything like that. But the basic philosophy of this diet is eat like a predator, not like a prey.
Yeah, and I like the way he says that, and he rephrases and he says, well, predators eat meals, and prey will graze on snacks.
Yeah. And we've heard a lot of things in the last 20, 30 years about grazing, about eating 6 times a day. And, then this is what we call grazing. And the reason for this is to keep your blood sugar stable. But as we know, also, keeping your blood stable is also a way of doing it through the paleo diet.
Yeah.
And it's really good at doing that.
And the point is that when you eat, you're not hungry afterwards. You're not hungry for hours on end, and so the idea is to eat the meals that carry you through until your next meal.
Yeah. This means to eat meals which will carry you through your next meal but won't make you tired or sleepy. And that's a real key. There's certain foods that do that to you. And even a large meal, a lot of times if you haven't eaten for a while, when you're stuffed, you're going to lay down and go to sleep perhaps. That's true.
But also you have the concept of the sugar crash.
And that's all in here. So let's go into it. Step 1 is eat meat, not birdseed. And this guy has kind of a little sense of humor to it, and I kind of like that too.
It's a nice little article, yeah.
Yeah, he says eat more meat. If it's not meat, it's not a meal. and favor ruminants. We've talked about this quite a bit. These are animals that eat grass and other green leaves. This means red meat, which is beef, lamb, bison, elk, venison, goats. And the reason for this is ruminants are very far better at converting plants into essential fats, complete proteins, and bioavailable nutrients that we need.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then we eat the next thing up the food chain and get all the benefits.
Right, and they've converted what is the process for us being healthy and not having any problems. We know that a lot of plant food has certain defenses in it because it's not like an animal that can run away. It's stuck there, and animals are either going to eat it or they're not going to eat it. And there are a lot of plants that just don't want to be eaten, and they put defenses in there. And those are root vegetables. These are anything green. What we've
Seeds.
done, however, throughout the years, for these last 10,000 years, while we've been dabbling in agriculture, is making these things more palatable to us, making them easier to digest, making them taste a little bit better. And we do this not only by growing them differently and splicing genes and things like that, but our ancient ancestors really took the time to, to distill these things, to ferment them, to sour them, to store them in various different ways to remove these toxins, because these plants have these toxins to defend themselves, and we need to get rid of them because it's not really healthy for us.
Yeah, well, also, we didn't have refrigeration and freezers and freeze-dried and packaged and so on. And so when to keep something from going bad, I think was maybe the initial reason for souring or
Sure.
fermenting. Or
In fact,
whatever.
it was probably accidental. It
Right.
laid around for a while, and then all of a
Right.
sudden they said, well, this still kind of works. And actually, it's kind of better for you.
Well, ultimately you figure it out because you feel better when you eat
Right,
it.
yeah. So here it says, buy grass-fed beef whenever possible. It's better for you. It's better for the earth. Cows didn't evolve to eat corn or soybeans any more than humans did. And this is an important part of the whole thing that we discovered. We started eating more meat and cutting out all these grains and packaged foods, and we discovered better meats. And and this comes about by the animal being fed differently.
Yeah, without eating. And there's a big difference between grass-fed and grass-finished.
Right. So a lot of the companies will let the cows graze out there. It's much easier, just let them out and bring them in at night or not. And then when it's cold out, maybe you bring them in and you feed them hay. The conventional farms stopped that practice and started supplementing with cheaper things like soybeans and corn. This was pretty much, the breadbasket of the United States. So we were always making a lot of corn, always making a lot of soybeans. Mostly not for us, though. Mostly for animals.
For feed.
For feed, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Next thing it says, buy fatty cuts of meat, buy occasional organ meats. Do not avoid animal fat.
So eat the skin, eat the fat.
Right. And we found this to be very, very liberating.
It's satisfying.
Yeah.
Very satisfying.
Right.
And then you're not hungry. It really suppresses appetite.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? Not to be hungry, because otherwise you don't eat. So, yeah. So let's explore this more. We'll be right back, folks.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
So welcome back. We're talking about Eat Like a Predator, Not Like a Prey, the Paleo Diet in 6 Easy Steps, a motivational guide. And we left off with the talking about the fat and things like that.
Eating organ meats.
Yeah, and in here that mentions pork and chicken are permissible in moderation, but far less healthy due to excessive omega-6 fat content. So we have to think about why pork and chicken would be different than like a cow going out in the field. And if you think back to at least I think back to where my grandmother lived. The pig pen and the chicken pen were right next to the kitchen. And this is where we would be throwing the scraps and the food that's left over. So not only, you know, they were eating what we discarded instead of picking up, and they were in a pen. So they were kind of forced to eat this stuff. They're not going out roaming too much. And they were also the first animals that were kind of being fed. Yeah, the cows went out to the pasture, and so did the horses and that, and there was wild deer around and turkeys and things like that. But you kept these animals close because you didn't want them wandering around. The cows would come back, the pigs probably not, and the chickens probably not either.
Well, but you also don't want prey to get predators to get.
There's the other reason there. Yeah, the cow can defend itself from a small animal, but a fox and things like that, even rats can take the chickens out. Exactly, hawks and things like that. So you kept them. So they were more susceptible to eating our leftover food, which maybe was probably not as good as theirs. And this is why when you feed animals bad things, they get the omega-6 just like we do. And omega-6 is the highly inflammatory type. We need it, but we need it at a ratio that's more compatible with grass-fed or free-range or these animals. Well, you can think about pigs. What do they eat? Well, they eat mostly roots and acorns and, you know, nuts and things like that. Where chicken, mostly they're eating bugs. Occasionally seeds, but seeds aren't there all the time. But the bugs aren't there most of the time.
I laugh when I hear when I see on our advertising that the chickens are pure vegetarian feed.
Yes.
It's like, that's not a normal chicken.
That's for sure. Yeah, it normally wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So, of course, the idea is to get organic food and to find the free range and the pastured and the grass-fed and so on, and do the best you can.
So the author says, frankly, you can stop here, as many native cultures did, as long as you eat the organ meats and marrow, the fatty parts and things like that. For most of us, we enjoy more variety in our diets, so some vegetables and fruits offer some health benefits as well as they're a little bit more interesting, perhaps.
Yeah, just a little variety.
Yeah.
And it goes on to talk about favoring oily fish like mackerel, sardines, and wild salmon, but you have to be careful about the mercury content there, and so
yeah, and you have to be concerned about things like Fukushima, perhaps, dumping all that stuff in the ocean. So the oceans definitely are full of mercury and other things. So, you have to be careful. But there are, the bottom feeders like the crabs and the lobsters and the groupers and things like that
catfish
are very good at dispensing with. Yeah, and catfish. They're very good at this. Processing this stuff out too. So the ones that you really have to be concerned are more of the game fish that are eating all these other fish and things like that.
Top of the food chain.
Exactly.
That's where it intensifies and collects.
Yeah. Now, next thing is do not eat anything made with flour. So that means no bread, no pasta, no cereal, no crackers, no cookies, no donuts, or danishes, period. This is the most important step. And this is especially in the beginning, that first 3 to 6 month period, you definitely don't want to, because these things can trigger some of the inconsistencies, some of the problems that you might have down the line. Usually it's triggered by going back and eating some of these processed foods. And we're talking about these processed foods are the most highly processed foods on the planet.
Yeah.
Your breads and cereals and things.
But they're also made from ground up seeds.
That's
and
right.
We know that silos the grain may sit out, and the seeds and the grain sit in the silo maybe for months.
And who's wandering over those?
Right.
The rodents.
And the wet and the dry and the mildew and the mold, and they're not cleaning that stuff when they just throw it all in the grist. It's all grist for the grinder, and they throw it in there and grind it up, and it goes into your food. And there's some level of that. But seeds, we've talked about this very often, and you talked about it over the years, of course. And the seeds have developed a covering, some kind of a coating to prevent the birds and the other animals from eating.
Well, remember, they found seeds in tombs, 2,000-3,000 years old, and when they plant them, they're viable.
Yeah, so they protect
this is a very
themselves.
good stasis mechanism that they've come up with.
Survival.
Yeah, so it's really important. Also, think about the animals that eat seeds. There's only two. Well, not two animals, but two categories of animals. Well, the first are birds, and the second are rodents. So they're not exactly human beings or anything close to human beings.
Right.
So, so that's where that comes from. Somewhere along the line we found that seeds saved our lives. They become important. They become the holy bread. They're so much in our culture because of this reason, not because they're great for us, because they save our life. That's why.
Yeah, they're survival foods.
Yeah,
they are. And of course, the first thing that I found that when we went on the paleo diet, literally within the first 10 days, I had gone down 2 belt notches, just not eating the grains anymore.
Well, also that has to do with some water retention, but also the swelling from some of these irritations of the grains, the bloating.
Yeah,
that
I
type of thing.
apparently was more susceptible to it than others.
For me, it was very liberating because all those problems with my gut and acne problems went away immediately. And I was so relieved. And after all these years of all these different things that you go through to try to get rid of acne, especially when you're a teen and you're eating cereal in the morning, it's just, you're not told about these things because we probably didn't know at that time. We haven't known, except for the last 20 years, that these grains are really bad for us.
Yeah, and I mean, the coating is also the seed coating also contains poisonous type materials that don't agree with us, and
because the seed doesn't want to be eaten. It's the only source of life. But there's also another thing, because of these GMOs, they're also spraying these a lot more. Remember, they were spraying selectively for many years. When GMO came along, that gave them a license saying, hey, these pesticides are now inside the plant.
Yeah, they're incorporated.
We don't have to spray as much anymore.
Wow. Yeah, and
So now
you
we're
get to
eating
eat,
those. Well, we're not,
more
but-
insecticides,
Yeah.
right? All right? Do not drink your food.
Yeah, this is an important thing because in the lifestyle of being fit and somebody that exercises a lot, you're always told protein shakes, carbohydrates. You need these different things. You need boosters, things like that. So this is an important part.
Drink your orange juice.
Yeah, don't eat. Yeah, especially orange juice, but no soda, especially diet soda. No sports drinks, no milk, no soy milk, no smoothies, no fruit juices, no yogurt, no vegetable drinks. Tea and coffee are fine.
Yeah, and then learn to drink water. And, that's something that I did about 30 years ago, was just, maybe more than 30 years ago, 40 years ago, was just to learn to drink water. I had drunk milk well into almost 30 years old, and I'm sure contributed to my lactose intolerance. But, water is, especially water that tastes good. And if you're at a place where you're not crazy about the taste of the water, like a restaurant,
Go someplace else.
Put a lemon in it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll be going on with this. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're looking at an article, Eat Like a Predator, Not Like Prey. And it kind of goes through and explains in in 6 steps, not only the paleo diet, but kind of how to get into it and what kinds of things to eat. And so we got as far as don't drink your food. Now we're at do not eat table sugar or its equivalents.
Yeah, this includes things like brown rice sugar, agave nectar, which is one of the worst things, evaporated cane solids. There's all kinds of stuff. Even honey is basically sugar, although it has a lot of medicinal properties, and we use honey in the afternoon for our coffee occasionally. Diet sweeteners are out, and anything like the sugar, alcohol things. And alcohol works completely different on a paleo diet, so a beer, a shot of whiskey or vodka or something like that's not going to hurt you. In fact, it's probably more medicinal in the form as long as you stick to the 1 or 2 drinks. Then you go overboard. Anything, 10 aspirin are not any good either.
Right, right.
Next is get your carbohydrates or your sugars from plants and not their seeds. And this is a really important thing to understand because our ancestors, when they used carbohydrates, more often went to the starches. Think potatoes, think of rice in the East, and white rice, not brown rice, and potatoes were usually peeled.
Yeah, they say he says always peel your potatoes because there's a chemical called solanine.
Yeah,
and it's in the seed, in the
skin portion.
The peel.
And it's become kind of vogue to have potatoes with the peel, but really not good for you. If you do it once in a while, I don't think it's going to hurt you, but as a steady diet, it's probably not too good.
Yeah, and imagine all those stores, those restaurants that have been serving potato skins for how many decades.
Yeah, and also when you think about carbohydrates in starch form, you think about people preparing it differently. Not just, you have potatoes, but you bake them twice. The
or
roots,
roast them in a fire.
Yeah, many of them, even the gava plants and all these plants that are roots. A lot of times they shave them and let them dry, and then wet them again to ferment them a little bit more. Think about rice. You cook the rice for the week, but then you fry it later on and do other things to it. So these cooking twice type of thing is very prevalent in traditional cultures. If you look at American Indians, they use maize the same way. They fermented it in a slurry of mash of the old husks, along with the burning of the plant, the charcoal. So all our ancient cultures kind of figured this out, and the important thing to remember in our modern times, the carbohydrates that you have on your shelf in your grocery store none of these things are done to them. Mostly they're extruded, they're
pressed.
They're pressed with chemicals and things like that. So they're, you have to get them natural. That's the important thing. So no packaged food for sure.
Okay, well, step 2 that was all step 1.
Well, we're still on that, the congratulations part. You're going through not eating any bread, and you've gone through the withdrawal from the bread and from the cereal. And there are periods maybe where you have a little craving in there, but after a couple of weeks of doing this, you're probably doing pretty good if you haven't cheated or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you're the way I look at it is that you can do anything for 10 days or 2 weeks.
Right, and that's kind of the way we started. But I said, let's do this for 10 days, but we kind of went full hog into it, and we never looked back.
We felt so much better quickly.
Yeah, we did.
That there was no question. I mean, it was obviously the right road for us.
Yeah.
The interesting thing we found when we first started out was that the bread, all the grains have in them a chemical that is very similar to morphine, and that we are literally addicted to the bread, and that's why you have withdrawal if you stop eating it.
Yeah. So the best part of this primal or paleo diet is that you don't have to keep track of anything. You don't really have to do any measuring. There's no counting calories, no points, no worries about your ratios of macronutrients. You just eat real food, and you don't have to worry about parceling out any kind of addiction to junk food or anything like that.
Getting rid of it.
Yeah. So the step 2 is the saying eat food, not diesel fuel. So what do they mean by that?
Oh, I think they're talking about the processed oils that masquerade as vegetable oils and are touted for, your salads and your all kind. There's broccoli oil.
There's really no such thing as vegetable oils, and I think that's what he's trying to point out here is that, we've been using different oils since about the turn of the century, and that kind of changed our whole health makeup because before we were using tallow, we were using butter, we were using lard. Mostly, and along the lines of the 1920s or maybe even before that, cottonseed oil came prevalent into the marketplace by the way of Crisco. And it looked like lard. It looked like tallow a little bit. And so that became in the marketplace.
And it was so cheap.
Yeah, and that's the real draw, isn't it? The poor families, you give it to the poorest families.
Or even anybody in, new families that were on a tight budget. Didn't matter, whatever it was. It was marketed for as an all-purpose fat and healthy. And
right. So here the author here says buy fatty cuts of meat and cook with their included fats, and that's what we do. Cook with butter, coconut oil, or grass-fed beef tallow. Cook with eggs. Always eat the yolks. Do not use vegetable oils. The term itself is a lie. Like you said, there's no lettuce oil, there's no broccoli oil. There are some fruit oils like avocado oil and like olive oil and things like that, but there are no vegetable oils at all.
Yeah, well, they talk about olive oil, cheeses, avocados, and nuts are okay in moderation, but think of them as condiments. And you talk all the time about in Italy, the pasta is a small side dish. It's not the main meal.
No, that's right. And the same goes for the Chinese and the Asians. They don't have these huge bowl of rice. They have a small bowl, unless, of course, they're starving. When there's no meat, then you eat anything. Of course, this all means that there's no French fries, no deep fried foods, no potato chips, no corn chips. But alas, we do that. So what we've done is we bought a deep fryer and use the old oils we used to use. So about once a week, we like to have some fried food, some chicken wings or some scallops or some shrimp, but we use the lard. I bought a big tub of lard last year, and we're not even halfway through it. Only cost me $40. Much cheaper than the oils, lasts longer. You don't have to refrigerate it, and it's so nice and clean, and it smells good, and it just does a great job.
Plus, we don't put any breading on our food.
Right, no breadings and things like that, yeah. Also says the prohibition against granola, which is just bird seeds stuck together with oil and sugar. Corn nuts or wasabi seeds are soaked in oil, too. That's a mess for sure.
Wasabi peas.
Yeah. It says extra virgin olive oil, cheese, avocados, and nuts are okay in moderation. Think of them as condiments and not ingredients. And that's really the whole gist of this. We have to get back to thinking of these things as maybe a little salad dressing here and there instead of cooking with it.
Yeah, they also talk about sour cream, heavy cream, and full-fat yogurt.
Being very good for you.
Yeah.
But
not as good as fatty meat.
That's right.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So welcome back. So we're at step 3 now. Step 2. You've got some nice moral support and things like that.
Step 1 was eat meat, not birdseed, and step 2 was eat food, not diesel fuel. So now we're at supplements.
Yeah, and what we've done is basically cut out a lot of the carbs and started enjoying more grass-fed types of meats and animals that are eating good. So step 3 is supplements for an imperfect world, because we know that the soil has been compromised for hundreds of years using lots of chemicals, a lot of accidents that happened into our environment. So the environment is kind of messed up. So we need some supplementation.
Yeah, between the depletion from the overcrop, or the overuse by crops, and the chemicals and the acid rain and the volcanic ash, and who knows what is going on around.
So I think supplements are an important step, especially if you can afford to have some supplementation. The easiest way I see it is going up here to the Primal Edge. It's got over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients. Everything you need, everything that's mentioned in here. They say consider D3. That's in here. It says between 2,000 to 4,000 IUs. That's in there. I have been taking more than that since the COVID thing, over 10. And I think it's just something that has been shown to help a lot. EPA and DHA, those are the omega-3 supplements. They're in the Primal Edge. You won't find any flaxseed oil. It's not a good substitute. It does have the DHA that we require, but it has trouble converting it to the kind that we can use.
Well, they point out that flaxseed oil is actually linseed oil, which is a furniture polish. And furniture polish should not be food.
There you go. That's for sure. And consider chelated magnesium supplements, which are in the Primal Edge. So if you're doing, do your own research on this, but I think you'll find there's nothing better than the Primal Edge as far as cost per the product. For $89.
Bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck, so to speak. So that brings us to the number 4.
Step 4.
Step 4. Which is talking about...
Play like a predator.
Yeah, it's really talking about exercise, but do it in the fun zone, I would say.
And it's also talking about pushing yourself a little bit, doing something beyond your comfort zone, trying something new.
Yeah, and this is kind of contrary to what I learned, 40 years ago. I started running because the concept was that we need long-term exercise over a long period of time, and that'll help keep your weight down, your stabilized sugar, and it's really good for you. And We're kind of thinking now that's probably not the way to go. It's more like small bursts of energy, more like you're running from something or trying to catch something. So it's a shorter burst, but it's highly intensive. So most of the things that we do these days are lifting heavy objects and carrying things and learning to use your body the right way, not so much with machinery perhaps, but using little objects that are around the house and things like that. So to make it more natural, hang from a tree, that type of thing.
Stage your house.
Stage your house. Yeah, there you go. And we'll get into that too, for sure. So don't exercise, don't do cardio. The only way to improve is to push your limits. You'll lose more weight, gain more strength from periodic short bursts, intense exercise that instead of going for hours and hours. It just makes a lot of sense.
And then it says, do body weight exercises, people using dumbbells, kettlebells, and there's an article that we were looking at earlier that talks about the different exercises you can do to strengthen your body and really help align things. And none of it requires any specific equipment.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that at maybe another show.
Well, it's just it's important to understand that, thousands of years ago we didn't have exercise programs. The first one as I can maybe think of would be along the line of the ancient Olympics in Greece, that type of thing, when they were showing off doing certain things. Exercise is something that you do on a constant basis. We used to exercise to get our food. We used to exercise just to play. So those are the two things I always think of. You get your food and you play. So getting your food these days is not so exercise intensive because you're just going to the grocery store, unless you're running there or something like that. But the other thing is play. So that's why I do jiu-jitsu. That's why you go on the treadmill. This is why we go for our walks. This is why we love the mountains, things like that. So the more we can play and get our exercise in, I think that's much better for not only your body, because now you're using natural movements, it's also good for the head. Because now you're not thinking, I have to do this. You're not thinking, I need 10 of these, 10 more. Out in the woods, you're just climbing and having fun. There's no thing saying, I have to do this. No. Maybe you have to go home. That's about it.
Or not.
Or not. That's true. Okay, so that covers pretty much that. The next step is called optimization. Okay, removing any remaining grains from your diet. This is when you're going to go under the microscope a little bit and say, okay, I've tweaked this. I feel really good. I know it's working. Now how can I do it better? And that's the way we've always looked at things. How can I improve? That's what we want to do. Remove any remaining legumes, beans from your diet. Beans are seeds, so the same thing applies to the grass seed. Remove any remaining junk from your diet. What do we mean by junk?
Yeah.
Anything that's in a package, I would say, probably.
Well, junk food would be heavy sugar, heavy grains.
Anything that's in a little package.
Yeah.
Like a bar or something like that.
Pre-made stuff.
Yeah, even those, the balanced bars and all these things we used to do, they're not necessary. If you had breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning and by noon you're hungry, then maybe you should start thinking, well, maybe I didn't eat enough then. Maybe I should tweak. Maybe I should eat a little more fat so I'll be more satisfied. Because we really should be able to go 8 or 12 hours without saying, geez, there's something wrong here. I'm really hungry. Even at the end of the day at 4 o'clock when we go to have our meals, we're not starving. We know the meal is coming, and that's nice.
Yeah, and sometimes around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Well, usually what I do is I get my coffee at a little after 1, and that takes care of anything. You mostly get bored sitting in front of the computer, and you want to do something. You go, let me go find something treat. I need a treat.
Yeah,
That's
true.
That's
we
where
like our treats, and that's really in our culture, isn't it? Having a little treat for ourselves.
Well, my treat needs to be working on my jigsaw puzzle or one of my word puzzles or reading a chapter in my book or that needs to be the treat rather than let's go open the cabinet and see what we can find.
Yeah. And now it says here lastly, experiment with removing dairy from your diet. So that might be one of the last things. Dairy I've always used for a long time. I still eat a little bit of cheese, although over the years it's gotten less and less, and that piece of cheese sits in there a long time now.
We switched over to goat milk based cheeses because I can't do the cow's milk at all. And that's worked out nicely. And again, that's, not even once a week.
Yeah.
But just occasionally we'll have some...
these are little snacks and things like that.
Yeah,
These are our
we
treats.
We had some little slices of mozzarella and some pickled herring on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That was our dinner, we were done.
Yep. So stick around. We got a little bit more. We'll be right back.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Hi, welcome back. I just want to say that you've been on the show for a year.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a full year. It was literally the Tuesday after everything shut down with COVID on the Friday before. And we were driving down the road to get to the studio, and there were very few cars on the road.
Yeah, just like that, actually.
Yeah, it was eerie. And
yeah. The conclusion to this is living like a predator. Fatty meats are quite literally what made us human. The DHA, complete protein, and the sheer calorie density of fatty meat allowed us
the little 65-pound savanna apes with the tiny 350cc brains.
Just smart enough to make rocks sharper by banging them together and grow into modern humans with the big brains.
With the 1400cc brains.
Yeah, we didn't get fatty meat just by scavenging because the lions, the wolves, and the tigers are out there. We got it by being smarter. We're really the most effective predator on planet Earth, and we eat meat, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is the best, healthiest way to be human beings.
Yeah,
for us.
It's interesting because he goes on further in the article and talks about the fact that it changes your whole approach to life, being on the diet, and that you eat when you eat like a predator, play like a predator, you start thinking like a predator. And he doesn't mean by that someone who becomes non-empathetic and rude and manipulative. He means
you become more sensitive.
That you see people as opportunity instead of as an annoyance, and that you see things a little bit differently. And then he talks about the fact that if you can't trust, you need to surround yourself with people who make you feel comfortable, whom you can trust to have your back, who are similar in thought, not the same point of view every time that you have, but similar in the basic foundations of their lives.
Yeah,
and
that's why I hang out with you.
He says it's time to cut loose all the leeches, layabouts, whiners, and malcontents, and it's way past time to start valuing the solid, dependable people whom you can trust.
Yep.
So go out and do your homework and find a way to make your life better, and have a great week.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you grinding in the market but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader simply looking to make his job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month, and try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
This is TFNN, the Tiger Financial News Network.